How to Move Through Loss, Divorce, and Grief.
Best-selling author Shelley Summers Anderson with Rediscover You, joining us now to talk about this heavy subject, but one that you know very well.
I do. I know it very well.
One that we know well,
Yeah.
too. The book, though, this is really interesting, Shelley. This stemmed from a thesis project. Will you tell us a little bit, catch us up, what your own personal journey was leading up to the thesis?
Well, I actually, in 2018, I got divorced. I was living in the Midwest in South Dakota, and it was a long, arduous battle, and I had gone back to school to finish my degree, and I said that if I ever went to finish my master's, this was going to be a thesis, because I had found so many women my age. I had just turned 50 when I was getting divorced and thrown into this whole new world of dating and being alone, because I had spent 27 years married. And I thought, you know, this would be really good, because I tell in the book, I tell stories of other people who have gone through loss and grief and divorce. And the book in it, I talk about, you know, you don't know that you're in emotional, mental abuse or narcissistic abuse until you're out of it. And so that's one of the reasons why I wrote the book, is because there's really good advice and good step-by-step what worked for me, and things that I learned along the way.
What is the biggest takeaway for someone who's reading your book?
There's three things. The biggest takeaway for me, when I started the whole journey, I knew I could not stay in the angry place. There is this angry place that, yes, it's a good place because it gets you through the divorce, but you can't stay there. You can't stay there because, number one, it's like giving someone a cup of poison and expecting them to get sick if you drink it. So forgiveness is one of the biggest takeaways. The other one is gratitude. Just when you are practicing gratitude every single day, and you have to practice it because it has to become a habit. You don't just automatically, people don't just go, I'm grateful for. You don't think about it, but it forces you to be present. And the other one is radical acceptance. Radical acceptance is the hardest thing to learn. It really is, but it's something that's necessary, because you learn that you aren't in control of anybody else but you.
It's the hardest thing to wrap your head around, but you say once you do it, that's when things flow, because you're not fighting what is true. You had a really interesting way you described grief. I thought it was really profound.
Okay, grief itself, and grief needs to be honored. Grief needs to be honored as its own substance, because grief is a thing by itself. All of the stages around it, all of the 5 stages, you know, the anger, the bargaining, the denial, those are stages. But grief itself, it actually becomes a part of who you are. And it also becomes a part of how you move forward through life. And that was the biggest thing, is you have to accept the grief and go through the stages, and all of the stages are fluid. They're not linear. They one inside of the other, and you can be having 3 stages at the same time. It does not just one by one by one. And not everybody goes through the same stages.
Shelley, an important conversation. I'm glad we had it. I'm sure we're helping other people, and your book will too. Where can we find your book?
My book is on Amazon, and you can find me on social media at Instagram at Shelley Summers UT, and my website is shelleysummers.com.
And you're now coaching women, midlife specifically. That's the specialty here.
It is.
You get it.
I'm a life and transformation coach now too, yes.
All right, message her, take advantage of those services, and I'm reading this.
Okay, this
We're
is
reading
yours.
this book. All right.